Okay, and we're running. So hello everybody and welcome to yet another video here on learning Flutter and playing around with widgets. So in my previous live stream, I basically looked at the container widget and the row widget, and now I'm probably going to have a quick look at column, though I believe column is very similar to how row works. It's just that the direction has changed. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to jump over to my code that I had, and this, basically the link to this repo will be in the description of this video. So I went through a number of different properties on the row widget, and what I found at the late part of that last video, or that last stream, was that I can just replace this with column pretty easily, just like that, and nothing actually breaks, right? But it behaves differently. So if I save this now and watch what it does over here, you can see it changes to a column. And then I realized that I had to comment this out so it would be the full height of the container. Cool. So I'm probably going to quickly just put this back to row, and then I'm going to pretty much create a new widget over here and go new file, column, dot, and I'm pretty much going to grab everything that's in here and paste it in here, and then just change a few things. So column test widget, and this becomes column, like so. I'm probably going to set the width this time to 100 and leave it as that. Leave the color, we'll leave everything else the same for the moment, and save that. So that doesn't change anything really over in the app other than revert back to row. And then here, I'm just going to add another import. Go column.dart and change row test widget to column test widget. And when I do this, all right, we've got something that we can play with. Cool. So now I'm going to muck around with some of these properties. But firstly, let's see what they say in the documentation about this. So it says, a widget that displays its children in a vertical array. Well, okay, that's pretty obvious. To cause a child to expand to fill the available space, wrap the child in an expanded widget. All right, I'll do that soon. The column widget does not scroll and generally is considered an error to have more children. Yeah, so this is the same as the row, right? So if I come down and start adding a whole bunch of extra containers like this, I did this in the previous video as well. Hopefully that's enough. Nope. Continue. Try that. No. It's going to be a fair few of them, I think. It's got to reduce that space before it says it runs out of room. I think that might be enough. No? Yikes. No? I probably should have put some height on these containers. There it is. So now I've got that overflow of 54 pixels. So with row or column, you do have a limit, and if you go beyond that limit, it's going to break stuff. That's the fundamental idea with that. Up, 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 up. Revert, revert, revert. Keep on reverting till we get to there. And we're back where we started. Okay, cool. So the reason why they're so spaced out, if you're wondering, is because I'm using space evenly. So this is along the main axis, where I believe the main axis is starting from the top here and moving down. Though I'm using vertical direction of up, but that should change the cross axes. So that's not the same thing. But I am using a text direction with RTL, but that will affect the text. So right to left, if I go left to right, save that, it's probably not going to change anything, is it? Oh, hang on, I need to fix this bug here. We'll just go center for the moment. So it looks like when I use a column, changing the text direction doesn't make a big deal here. Yeah. Oh, no, it does. It moves the items to the right. So that's the same as moving the cross axes to the end. No, hang on. So if I set this back to what it should be, which is down. Okay, that's weird. So right to left. So if the cross axis is its default, which is down, so that's the vertical direction I'm talking about here. Sorry. Yeah, so if that's the default wrapping ability, and we're seeing the cross axis alignment to start. No, but hang on. My understanding would be that if we're going down the screen like we are right now, then ABC is the first on top. That's fine. But I would have thought the cross axis starting position would be on the left here, not the right. So if I take this out, what happens? It stays where it is. Main axis size, we don't need this. I'm pretty sure it's already defaulted to full screen. Yep. If I take out the text direction, it could be the text direction that's affecting it there. Yeah. All right, so that's the default. So as soon as you have the text direction, it changes the direction of the cross axis as well, because you are starting from the right and you're wanting to move to the left. So then in that case, this doesn't factor in. So vertical direction. So is it really vertical direction here? Is there a horizontal direction? Horizontal direction. No. Okay. So in the case of column, the vertical direction is the direction of the items along the main axis. Yeah. So if I put up, it just changes the direction of the main axis. It doesn't change the direction of the cross axis. The thing that changes the direction of the cross axis is the RTL. Yeah. And then if I go end here, we're saying we want to start on the left. Okay? So it's a little bit different. And then I've got the main axis size set to max, but if I set it to min, it's going to shrink it. Yep, I understand that. Other than that, everything looks to be the same. Cross axis alignment. I'm pretty sure this has baseline, but it's not really going to do much, is it, in this case? Because we're going one after the other. I think the cross axis alignment would make more sense with a row than it would a column. But I'm assuming that column is inheriting from, there you go, extends flex. So I'm assuming flex has these properties. Yeah. So it's probably just not doing anything. Let's go back up. How do I go back in my tab here? Not sure how to go back. No, I've screwed it up. This thing is annoying. Get out of the way. So I'll remove that. Column. So let's have a look at the column definition again. Is this implementing anything? Right. Apply parent. Expanded, blah, blah, blah. So what's this? Const expanded. Oh, this is in the same file. Oh, this is basic.dart. Okay, so where did the column end then? That's flexible. Column. So it's actually, all it does is set properties. So the logic must be inside this flex class. Assert, blah, blah, yeah, whatever. Okay. Where's the actual drawing part? I'm assuming this has the drawing. need text direction. Anyway, I'm not going to spend all day looking at this. That's not what we're here for. The idea is it pretty much works very similar to row. It's got the same properties. And that's because under the hood, we're using this flex widget. So with that said, I'm going to leave the column as is. And I'm going to create a new widget called the flex widget. So we'll just go flex.dart. I'll grab everything that's in, let's say, the row one and copy and paste into flex. And then it's going to go flex test widget. And instead of returning a container, I'm going to return instead of returning a row, I'm going to return a flex. And what is this complaining about? We'll come back in a minute, fix that up. I'll just reference it and watch it break first. Main, and we're going to flex test widget. And here, flex.dart. And that's going to break things. There it is. So I've got to specify a direction as well. Okay. So I'm not doing that right now. That's fine. Direction is equal to, what is it? What type of property is this? Axes. Axes dot horizontal. So this is going to act like a row, right? Cool. And if I change this to vertical. Cool. All right. So the difference is that when I use a column, I'm really just using a flex, but the difference is I'm specifying default direction. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And with row, we're specifying the other direction. But there might be more to it than this. So for this, they're saying the main axis is start, main axis size is max, cross alignment is center. So everything's centered when you use a column. Text direction, vertical direction is down. And children, okay. And let's have a look at row. See how much different this is. So it looks like they might achieve the same thing, just slightly differently. So you can see the direction being specified here is horizontal. But everything else, when I look at the parameters here, it seems to be the same. Like the main axis is start, cross axis is center, everything's max, text, vertical alignment is down. I mean, this could almost be, one parameter type constructor instead of all these different parameters. But maybe what they want to expose, well, they want to expose these things, right? So you can change the behavior. So that's probably why it's there. Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. All right, that makes sense. So that's flex. And flex seems relatively straightforward compared to column and row. So I don't think I really need to look at this much more, this column one. But inside of row or column, I think there was something about using expanded. So let's see how these things work. Layout algorithm, blah, blah, blah. So there's the expanded part. So I'll copy that. And I think there's something about flexible too. Yeah, flexible. To indicate children should share the remaining room. Okay. So I'll look at flexible and we'll look at expanded and see how they work. So I'm going to create 2 more Dart files for this. And we'll call it expanded.dart. And another widget we'll call, was it flexible? .dart. So let's go to the expanded one. And I'm going to grab let's grab the flex one. No, not flex. No, we'll grab flex. We can just remove stuff. And back to expanded. And I'm going to change this to expanded widget, expanded test widget. I can keep it as flex, but what I might do is change it to row. No, column. So we'll remove this. And then, so let's go container. The child is column, but I'm going to put expanded here. Like so. And we'll go down underneath this here and add another line. And then all I need to do is tab all this crap in. And I have to put a child on this one, like so. I'm pretty sure that's all I'll need to do at the moment. And then I just need to, whoa, what happened here? We got errors. We got errors. What's going on here? Direction is not equal to null. I have a feeling that that's just an issue with this again. I'll rerun it or resync it. See if I still get an error. Yeah, see, I'm not getting an error now, I don't think. Alright. So now I'll come over to my main.dart and I'll use my expanded example. Expanded test widget. Then I just need to import it. Widgets /expanded.dart and save that. And now it blew up. Why did it blow up? What have we got here? Expanded widgets must be placed inside of Flex widgets. Right. So does that mean, oh, okay. So I think I'm using it wrong. So instead of putting it outside the column, I'm supposed to put it in the children, around the children in the column. Correct? Maybe. Well, we'll find out. So if I put it here and put an expanded on this, and I add that, and then I have a child, like so. It's all learning. That's all this is about. So instead of another container, I add another expanded, like so, and put child, container, and then parentheses, and we'll tab in. Now let's try this out. Does it still give me an error? Let's run this again. Yeah, so now it's expanding, but at the height of it, and that's because I restricted it to 100. So let's take that out. I'll just not even comment it out, I'll just delete it and save. And bingo, nice. And what's that blue line? Why have I got a blue line there? Where's that coming from? Is that coming from the fact that I have blue here? Does this one have, because why does the second one not have it? Second child. I'm a little confused by that. So let's take out half of this crap that's in here. Just comment it out. So all of this, I can just pretty much comment out. So it still has that blue there. Why does it have the blue? Is it because DEF? Oh, maybe it's because DEF is not as wide as ABC. So if I come in and say cross-axis alignment, and I set this to stretch, and save that. Now that's going to stretch across the whole screen. But the blue is gone. So I think that's what the problem was though. But that's pretty cool. And we've basically set up the column to stretch. I'm not sure why it doesn't stretch by default like that, but that's fine. I guess because we're wrapping it inside of a container, and the container says go and be as big as you can, and the column says okay, be as big as the children, which in this case happen to be two very small containers, and we're not telling them to stretch. Rightio. So I think that's where the blue comes from, because the blue definitely comes from that parent container that's on the outside. All right, so what else can we do with the expanders? Is there any other properties? What do we got here? Flex 1. So it looks like there's a flex value we can set. So that'll be like Flexbox, right? Where we can make one thing bigger than the other. So if I come here and go flex 1, and then for this one, I'll say flex 2, then this second one should be twice as big as the first, right? In terms of height. Yep. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And if I make this 3, that'd be 3/4 to a quarter. Yep. And if I make this 2, then it'll be basically 2/5 and 3/5, so 40% and 60%. Yep. Okay, cool. So you can set a flex value on the expanded. Nice, very nice. Now, if I throw inside of here, instead of a child, I could have a container, and instead of using text, I could add a row, like so, and put a child on this, and set that to a text, and see what happens. And I put chid instead of child. Still doesn't like it. Oh, I gotta put it as children, that's right. And then create a widget array. That's right. And then put this at the end. No, I still don't like it. Is it because I'm supposed to do this? I'm gonna get rid of that. There we go, and save. All right, so that creates that row. And that's why that goes across the screen. Whereas this one down here is just using a container, and that's why you can see the blue. All right, cool. So if I now come and do the same thing down here, and I'll just put DEF, bingo. And I don't have to use cross-axis alignment.stretch. I wonder what the performance implications is around that though. Because if I just come up here and go .stretch for the cross-axis, and then I don't use a row, I just put text ABC instead, does it compile to the same thing? Whoops, I wasn't meant to comment out the text bit. Like, does doing this compile? Oh, okay, so there is a slight difference. When I don't use the row, it doesn't change the appearance or where the text is. But I can fix that by going main axis alignment. Oh no, but that's going to only do the items, isn't it? So if I come here and say, I want this to be center, but we're stretching, but it's not going to affect the text. So if I need the text to be aligned, I have to create something. I have to put something in the middle that aligns it to the middle. So in this case, then having cross-axis alignment is pointless. Okay. And I'll put this back to row. Okay. Very nice, very nice. So expanded literally has one property. It's using flexible. So what is the difference between flexible and expanded? So flexible is this dot fit is flexfit dot loose. Okay. Whereas I think expanded means just always expand all the space. Needs layout. I don't know what any of that stuff means at this point. Okay. What else? So if I come back and I check expanded again, is it setting anything else in here? So it seems to me all it does is ensure by default that the flex is set to 1, which means it will always span. Whereas it looks like to me a flexible doesn't necessarily. Oh no, but it does have this dot flex is 1. This dot fit is loose. All right, maybe I'll do some reading on this. So I think I opened up a tab for each one. Whoops, wrong key. Expanded class. A widget that expands it. A child of a row, column, or flex. Using an expanded widget makes a child of a row, column, or flex expand to fill the available space in the main axis. If multiple children are expanded, the available space is divided among them to the flex factor. Okay, so there's that flex value that I said. An expanded widget must be a descendant of a row, column, or flex. Yeah, so that's the mistake I made before, right? Where I put it outside of. So I tried to add an expanded to the outside of the column, not within the column. Okay, that's fine. And the path from the expanded widget to its enclosed, yeah, okay, must only contain stateless widgets or stateful widgets, not other kinds of widgets like render object widgets. Don't even know what that is yet. See also flexible, which does not force the child to fill the available space. Spacer, a widget that takes up proportion to its flex value. So before I move on to flexible, I just want to try a couple more things. So I'm going to remove this expanded. All right, so I'm just going to comment that out and save it. And I've got a bug. And the reason why I got a bug is because I still have child here. So I'll get rid of that. Okay, so that means that the one that's been set to flex is going to take up as much space as possible. Cool, but I can set a height on this, right? So I can go height and say 100, and that will be honored. Yep. So that's very similar to how Flexbox works, essentially. So if you've got something that you want to grow, right, they call it just using expanded. But if you want it to grow, you usually set a flex grow to 1, and that will grow it to as much as it can, right? But if there's something with a fixed size on it, then it will honor the fixed size, and then this will shrink. Well, not shrink, but it won't grow as much because it doesn't have as much space to fill. Okay, so it works on the concept of free space. Got it. I'm going to put this back to expandeds. I went too far. Save there. And cool. And let's put this back to just having 2 equally sized expanded containers. Nice. All right, that's it. I'm moving on. So flexible. I'm pretty much going to copy what I have for expanded and just put it into the flexible one. And we'll go flexible test widget. And then basically I will change expanded to flexible. And here also to flexible. And I might remove all this garbage that's in here too. And I might remove it from the expanded example as well. Less code is better. So in this case, I've got a column, widgets, 2 widgets that have got flexibles, and inside of it there are 2 containers. So hopefully all I need to do is come to my main.dart, update it to that, and then just import that. So flexible, and we'll see what it does. Right, so it doesn't actually flex. But it's strange because I swear if you look at it, so if I come into flexible test widget, and I look at this, it has this dot flex set to 1. So naturally I just assumed that it would be flexible, but it's not. So how does this work? What's this flex fit? Maybe this has got something to do with it. So if parent data dot fit is not equal to fit, needs layer. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Okay. Well, let's read the documentation on it then. Best way to learn, right? Why are you not changing? Why? Why aren't you changing? You're not changing screen. Why? Take it back out of here for a minute. Because I know I opened it. There it is. Not sure what was going on there. A widget that controls how a child row, whatever, flexes. Using a flexible widget gives the child of a row, column, or flex the flexibility to expand to fill the available space in the main axis. But unlike expanded, flexible does not require the child to fill the available space. A flexible widget must be a descendant of okay, cool, and the path from a flexible widget to its enclosed row, column, or flex must contain stateless widgets or stateful widgets, blah, blah, blah. So it seems to me how flexible a child is inscribed into the available space. All right, so let's have a look at using, so we're just using flexible, but we're not setting anything. So was it fit? Is it flexible fit? No, was it flex fit? Right. Let's go tight and see what happens. Okay. So if I use tight, it's going to honor the flex value. So if I say loose, what happens? Okay. So now if I give this a flex of 1, it doesn't do anything until I say tight. Is that correct? All right, so if I come down here and say I want a flex of 2, that's not going to do anything, right? Oh, okay, so it's allocating. So seeing the flex allocates how much space it should flex, but doesn't necessarily flex. So here we say this is the amount of space we can take, but until we say that it's tight, we're not going to take it. So if I change this to, so if I change this one down here to say fit, flex, fit, dot, tight, and save, it's going to take that space. And it's going to take 2 of the 3. Whereas with this one, I set it to loose, but now if I set it to tight, it's also going to take the remaining space. Okay, so that's the difference. But why is it when I looked at the expanded, it seemed to say loose? So that would go against what I'm saying here. Actually, no, it's not set. It's not set at all. Oh, no, there it is. Flex fit dot tight. Ah, gotcha. All right, yeah, okay, so that's pretty straightforward then, because other than that, it's passing through everything else. Don't know what this key is yet, but, it's passing through everything else. That's setting the fit to tight, it's setting the flex value to what we pass in, and setting the child to what we pass in. Okay, I understand. I'm pretty sure now I understand what a flexible and an expanded is. And hopefully anyone who's watching does as well. Cool. All right, moving on. So that's the flexible class. So once again, I'm going to go out of this. And again, why is it not working at the moment? I can't seem to tab. Oh, there we go. And then I should be able to go back. Why is it doing that? Come on, man. This normally works. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, because it's a separate tab. I'm actually after this tab, the row tab. I was trying to go back on the wrong tab. I'm going to close some of these tabs and go back. All right. So this one I can go back on. There we go. Cool. So that's container, row, column. We've covered flexible. We've covered flex, where we can change direction. We've covered expanded. All right, so that's pretty much the main top three there that we need to worry about. Now, do I look at image? And an image is an image, but how complicated is it? Is it something I can just investigate in a video, or is it going to be one of these things where I have to fiddle around a bit? Probably have to fiddle around. A widget that displays an image. Several constructors are provided for the various ways an image can be specified. New image for obtaining an image from an image provider. Yeah, so this is where it gets a little bit ugly. Yeah, I'm going to leave image out for now. So let's go back to the previous tab. And I'll look at text instead. So text is pretty straightforward. A run of text with a single style. La, la, la. Okay, so we'll look at some overflow stuff. We'll look at some alignment stuff. Looks like we're going to add some styling. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this. Yeah, I want to keep it simple to start off with. So text. So I'm going to come and create a widget for text. And go new file, text.dart. And we'll grab our container example because I'm probably going to wrap the thing inside of a container. So text. And I'll delete all this gobbledygook here because we don't need it. And or any of this. And I've got my text here. So this is where I'm going to do stuff. So what's some of the properties I have? So we have the text align. So text align. We'll set that to, well, it looks like it's not center right now. So let's try, was it text align dot center? Right. But first, before I do that, I should really change a few things here. Text test, not test test, text test widget. I can't talk. All right, look at that, and I'm gonna put that here, and then I'm gonna refer to it. So everything's gonna be pretty boring again in the mobile world. Oh, that's not too bad. So testing container sizing, that's what I called it, but did I really want to call it that? Let's change it to something else. Messing with text. I'll keep it capital because it's really a widget. Messing with text. Okay, cool. But if I don't use text align of center, that might be the default. Let's check it. And it is. Okay. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's because I'm using alignment.center up here. So let's take this out and save. And, oh, rightio. Alignment.center. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it makes it. It tries to center the text into the middle of the parent of that container. So that means it has to spread or make that container bigger. So let's try and affect the size of this container. I might add an expanded around it because I want it to be full screen. I don't like it not being full screen. And down here, and then I'm going to tab over. Save that. And I did something wrong. Bare widgets must be placed inside of flex widgets. Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, we need to add a column. I'm going to add a column for this. Throw an expanded in. And because a column is a type of flex widget, at least that's what I've learned. And now expanded column. So why is it complaining here? Oh, because it's children. And then, whoops, do that, and then we'll just put that here. We need to tab everything over. That's over. And then this is over. And I think hopefully at least we've got it expanding the height. Yep. And then on the column, what I might do is I'll go cross-axis alignment is stretch. Is it? Sorry. Cross-axis alignment dot stretch. Stretch. And that should give me that. Otherwise, I have to include a row, and I just can't be bothered. I'll just stretch the column. Normally you probably put in a row, but then you're changing the direction, and the expanded is probably going to apply to the row, and I don't want it to do that, so I'd rather just, or I could have added a row and then added a column. You can kind of understand where we're going with this stuff now. So I'm going to remove this alignment. I don't need it. So, okay, cool. So we're at a point now where I feel happy we can check out the text. Now, it isn't aligned vertically into the middle of the screen, but I don't really care. We could fix that, actually, by coming up here and just going main axis alignment is main axis alignment. No, that won't fix it. Because that'll just look to align the child, or the children, sorry, which is just an expanded, which expands the whole screen. So that's not going to work. So what are we going to do here? Maybe in the container? Alignment, no, it's just axis alignment, isn't it? No, alignment geometry. Alignment, I'm pretty sure it's just alignment dot, and I'm going to put it in the center, like that. There we go. That's what I'm after. All right, I'm happy now. I don't know why I put in all that effort just to get some text in the middle of a screen, but I felt like doing it. It's a bit of fun. I could have just, yes, I know probably some people who are a little bit more experienced with this would have said, just use a center. Yeah, well, I wanted to see how you could do it without using a center. All right? And if it makes you happy, I'll throw a damn center in here. All right? We'll go center, and then we'll remove half of this crap. All right? That's what you all bloody want, don't you? So let's do it. So we've got container, center. So I just need to remove this last bit. And that last parentheses as well. I'm pretty sure this will work too. Yeah, it's the same, right? I don't know if I'm not getting any errors here. Like, it did have some errors, but it doesn't have them anymore. So everything I just did, we can just simplify by using center, okay? Yeah. Shut up. That's all I'm going to say. Shut up. Leave me alone. I'm learning. All right. So what do we got here? Overflow ellipses. So I'm going to write a whole bunch of crap. So blah, 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 blah. Save. And it wraps. Okay. So why do we have an overflow here then? If it wraps, how can this even be a factor? Because normally that only becomes a factor if you're on a single line. Okay, so it's different here. So if you set overflow of ellipsis, it goes, oh, you want it all to be on one line rather than wrap to the next line. Whereas in CSS, we'd usually say, the word wrap is no wrap, so therefore the lines will not wrap, and then you have to go overflow is hidden, and then after you've done that, then once you have the overflow of hidden, then you set the text overflow to ellipsis. So it's 3 properties to achieve what this one property does. It's really cool, actually, that they can do that with just one property. Much better. And they really should fix that in CSS. It's a real pain in the bum. And then we've got a style property where we're setting the font weight to bold. So we've got this whole text style. So I'm just going to copy and paste this for the moment and save. And that's going to make it bold. But what else have we got inside of here? What else can we do? Looks like we've got a whole bunch of things we can do. So we've got a color. So let's change the color. Let's make it white. White on green sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Okay, so text.dart. I'm going to start closing some of these down because they're just getting in the way. And I'll close the main one as well. So in here, let's put like that. We'll keep the bold. I like the bold. We'll go color. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. Dot from RGB. This is all I know so far. 255. And we're going to go white. So it'll be 255, 255, 255. I will eventually one day work out if there's a better way to do this color thing. Right now, I don't really care. I'm not building a real project. And that should make it white. Hey, pretty nice. And I might change it from green, or at least make it a darker green. So we'll go like 195 or something. Because it just seems way too bright. That's a little better. That's a little better. Maybe even less. Maybe 175. It's quite a common number for a green. Yeah, that looks better. And I don't know why I chose green, but I did. So I'm going to remove some of this text here just because it's gobbledygook. But at least I know that the overflow works. Messing with text. Okay, what else can we do? Actually, what else can we do on text style? Let's get into this text style stuff, right? Because if we're going to manipulate text, we're going to want to know how we can affect it. So we can change the height on it. So the height is just a double. Is that different to font size though? So font size, if none is specified, the size of glyphs and logical pixels to use when painting the text. So why would you use height? The height of this text span. Oh, okay, so the actual text widget is a certain height versus the font size. Okay, so if I come in and just say font, but hang on, the text style, it is applied to a text widget though. Does that mean a text style can only be applied to a text widget? This must be like, extra properties or parameters or something. All right, so first let's go font size. Was it font size? And what was it? It's a numeric value. So if I say I want to have 20 like that, what does that do? Makes it a little bit bigger. So what's the default? Is it 10? No. Maybe it's 16. Kind of like a browser. No, it doesn't appear to be. 12. 14. Hang on. Did it say the default's 14? Yeah, now I've got it right. Yeah, default's to 14 pixels if the font size isn't specified here. Cool. All right, so we can say 20 for now, just for fun. Messing with text in big letters. And we've got font weight. We've already looked at that. What's the font style? Let's have a look at font style. So font style is what? A font style? Yeah, I assume that's what it was. There's only two, so it's just whether it's italic or not italic. Is that correct? So I've made it italic. So look at the values. Okay, normal upright versus italic. Okay. If we want to make it italics, we have to use font style. What else can we do? Letter spacing, word spacing, foreground, background. So we can add a color behind. So if I add a background of, what was it? Color dot from RGB. In this case, I say I'm going to make it 100, so a little bit of opacity, and we'll make it black, shall we? Create like an overlay or something. Except it's not, it doesn't appear to be a color. Oh, it's a paint. What's a paint? Paint dot, no? How do we give it what it wants? What's a paint? Canvas. This looks very, very complicated for some reason. So how do we, it's got some static stuff. That's just my mum talking to me. Oh, it's 10:30. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to get off soon. I don't know how long I've been on here though. Anyway, Let's try and finish something off here though. So I won't deal with background right now. What else have we got? Height. Yeah, but in order to see the height, you probably need to set a background, right? Decoration. So text decoration. Let's have a look. Text decoration, mask. What does the mask do? Okay, so what's this? Text decoration dot underline. Okay, so if I do, so this decoration is referring to the text decoration of the text. So text decoration, not dot combine. All right, so if we put overline, for example. Oh yeah, and we can put underline. Sometimes it's better just to look at the code, man, than it is to read the documentation. I'll always read the documentation as well, but sometimes it's just good to play around with code a bit. Messing with text with a line through it. We're really messing with it now. All right, I'm gonna put it back to underline just to be fun. Okay, cool. And what else can we do? Word spacing. Let's go with 50. Let's see what the big impact is. Ooh. And we'll go letter spacing, and we'll put this at 5. Ho-ho. All right, we'll go 3. It's getting a little bit too big. And we'll reduce this to 30. Messy. Nah, we'll even go 15. Not 150, Daryl. Ooh, isn't that looking pretty? Not really, but at least I'm learning what's going on here. What else can we do with text? Strut style. Style. Oh no, this is the text widget. I'm still looking at text style, aren't I? What else can we do with text style? Text baseline. What is this? The common baseline that should be aligned between this text span and its parent text span. Okay. Locale. I'm assuming that's to do with localization. I'm probably not going to worry about that. Shadows. This sounds interesting. This dot shadows. Decoration color. So we didn't. What's decoration color? The color to which to paint the text decoration. Oh, we can change the color of the decoration. All right, let's check that out. Decoration color. So we've got decoration. Let's go decoration color, and we'll go color dot from RGB. RGB, yeah, ARGB. This time let's put 100, 0, 0, 0. And that should give me like a faded black. Ooh, nice. Now what else can we do? Decoration, style, and text decoration. No, that's not what I want. What does this take? Text decoration style. Okay. Let's grab this. Text decoration style dot. Ooh, oh, okay. You can change the behavior of the line. It's a dotted. So we can make it a dotted line. Okay. Excellent. Dashed. Okay. Solid double lines. Let's go double. All right. We're going to be emphatic here. And I'm going to comment out the color just because I like it to be white. But can I make the decoration go further away from the text? Or would that have to do with line height or something? Let's have a look. Is there a line height? Decoration style, debug label. Doesn't look like it. I guess that's the only thing that I can see. I'm like, with this is that I don't think we can add some space between the text and the decoration. Unless it's part of decoration style and you have to use multiple together or something. Decoration style. Now, where are we? Okay. I was in the wrong spot. No, it's just an enum with a few options. What's wavy? I should look up wavy. Dot wavy. Ew. Okay then. Anyway, I might end the video there, guys. We got through a few things. So we looked at the expanded. We understood what a flex was. We understood what flexible was. We kind of followed up on column a bit to understand that it's very similar to how row works, just in a column-based direction. We looked at alignment and cross-axes and main axes for the column as well, and a whole bunch of other things. And once again, if I want to be politically correct, all this kind of stuff is very similar to Flexbox, right? So if I, once again, come over to a new incognito window, and that's because I'm already signed in, and go udemy.com/flexbox in depth. All this stuff I talk about with alignment, with cross axes and main axes and all this kind of stuff, it's all in this course, all right? Now, as I said, currently it's $12 Australian, but you can get it for free by just clicking on the link below in the description, all right? So it's not that big of a deal for you guys, all right? If you want to donate, all right, I wouldn't suggest you come here and just click add to cart, because if you do that, then I only get 50% of it. However, if you click on the link that I provide in the description, this is if you want to donate, all right, I will get pretty much 100% of that money instead of having to distribute in half, okay? That's it, guys. I'm going to end the video here. I will upload this code to GitHub, so that you've got the latest of what I've been doing here. And I'll see you all next time.